Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to Dissonant Echoes, the official Hauntology Records podcast. I just wanted to jump in here before the episode starts. If you didn't catch the post on the Hauntology Instagram where I apologized for the extended delay in podcast episodes coming out lately, just briefly, I've been really struggling with mental health and everything lately, particularly anxiety. And I've just let things accumulate, and it's taken far too long for me to get to this. So my apologies to our guest Alex for the 4-month almost delay in getting this podcast episode out. But I'm feeling better, feeling on top of things now, and we'll get this thing back rolling. So with that, enjoy the episode, and Hey everybody, welcome to Dissonant Echoes, episode 13. This is the official Hauntology Records podcast, and today we have on our first repeat guest, Alex from Beyond Death Recordings. Thanks for coming back, man.
Thank you for having me back.
Absolutely.
Love it. It was my first podcast appearance, and happy to do it again.
Yeah, excited to have you on again.
How you been, dude?
I'm doing all right. I had a long day at the Long Day Factory and ran into unexpected traffic in Bristol, Tennessee / Virginia. And they were having the Atlanta Braves versus the, what is it? Cincinnati Reds, maybe?
Don't ask me.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
But they're at the Bristol Motor Speedway, which is a relatively large NASCAR track, popular NASCAR track. And so I ended up running into 45 minutes of traffic on my way to get back here to do this. But I'm happy to be here now.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. It's a party.
Hell yeah.
Well, how's things been going with Beyond Death Recordings, man?
Doing good. It was a little slow over the winter, but I started sort of saving up some stock. Tape prices and stuff like that are, depending on where people are getting from, are going up. It seems like, with like tariffs and all that stuff going on, especially earlier in the year. So I was kind of hoarding tapes and releasing stuff here and there. But we just released the Leper Witch Curse of Consciousness tape. That one's doing really well. Everybody's loving that. Enemy Zero, Shatter, released that a couple months ago.
Yeah, that one was sick.
Yeah, I'm about to put some label copies up. I released those to support the artists. They were going on tour and kind of needed them pretty quick. So, I got those out, and I'm about to put some of those copies up now. Love Zona. They're a personal friend.
Yeah, dude, that one was very harsh and cool. I enjoyed that one. Well, dude, I mean, after our first chat, I took a little bit more of a look at this space, this genre, if you want to call it that, of like harsh noise and different types of noise music. And you were right. You told me it can be so many different things to so many different people.
Yeah.
And it is, I got into, from things that I found from you would be Societal Garbage by Kudzu Wreath and Unrelieving by Smirtney. I'm not sure how to pronounce their name.
I say SMRTNI. I'm not sure. I've never asked.
Yeah, that's a tricky one to pronounce, but those are both really sick. I just remember you talking about their releases, and I checked it out and was really sick. And the other one you mentioned was obviously On Soot, and dude, I don't think I've heard, maybe I haven't heard a better album this year than his last album. So
yeah, you got the shirt in the last copy, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah,
the
dude.
Last
got the shirt right
copy
now.
of the tape from Compromission. Yeah, I love that one. He's released a lot of stuff in the past year. I mean, this year so far. That album that was all vocal, like manipulated vocals and stuff like that, a little bit, and then of course Hell is a Cold State. That was awesome. And I'd sort of seen a little bit behind the scenes of him working on that. And I love the folkier side. I know
Yeah,
I probably said it before, but that was the biggest thing that inspired me was seeing somebody willing to do that in like noise experimental space.
Yeah.
Really opened up another world for me.
Well, I've listened to it digitally, but when I put it on like the cassette, it was just a totally all-encompassing experience. It was like even the harsh parts of it are beautiful. It's really cool. Like I said, one of the best albums I've heard this year, and I told him as much. Super sick. So yeah, I have you to thank for all of that. I mean, Adrian's talked to me about Onset before as well, so both of you guys got me onto him. But
I think Adrian got some stuff before at some point.
Yeah.
I'd sent some Onset stuff over too.
Yeah, tapes and shirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the old shirt, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I still have a couple of those.
Mm.
The black and white ones.
Yeah, go pick one up. Go pick one up.
For real. Anybody listening to this because of our like extreme metal like crowd, you should definitely check out Onset because it's just not what you would expect, I would say, probably. Or maybe it is. Either way, it's amazing, but you should check it out and check out Beyond Death's other stuff as well.
For sure.
Speaking of extreme metal, I was curious about this, Alex. What are some extreme metal recommendations you might have that we might not be hip to?
Honestly, I feel like I could have potentially mentioned them before, but Straggler, they're from, I want to say California, Pacific Northwest area. I found them through Stuffed Animal Records, who is also an amazing label and friend of mine, really doing it DIY and doing a whole lot of stuff for the people around them. Love them to death. But through them, I found Straggler, and I'm looking back because I got tapes on the wall. That's what I'm looking at. But that Straggler Traumatic Ends, I want to say it came out last year, maybe year before. Grind, a lot of what I listen to is grind, more like power violence sometimes. I found Midwest Lust. I would highly recommend Midwest Lust. It's harsh noise, power electronics, but from the stuff that I've heard, it's kind of also 50-50 with power violence. Grind, but in a different way, not in that just always blasting completely. They're super interesting. I've been going through some of their stuff. They're self-titled. I love it. Highly recommend. I think their stuff's coming out on Phage tapes. I've loved them. Crawl. If you haven't heard Crawl.
No,
not
I want to say it's a one-person project, and I want to say that I read that it was a person that had played drums for Boris or something.
Oh, sick.
But it's kind of, in my mind, it's like there's some sort of almost dungeon synth imagery and synth parts in some of it, but there's also really heavy sort of death doom drums in it. And blackened vocals. It's very interesting. I was really surprised the first time I found it. I think 10,000 Pole Hammers is the first song that I heard, and I was like, holy shit. And I went and bought that tape.
That definitely sounds up my alley.
They played Texas Dungeon Siege recently, and Spife was on it, a friend of mine. I'm trying to think of what else. What other stuff like that I've been listening to? What have you guys been listening to as far as metal, heavy, extreme releases go?
Well, I mean, for me, I'll go first, I guess. This isn't too extreme, but the main thing that's kind of changed my life recently is Cult of Luna. They're a post-metal band.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend Gabe got me onto the album Somewhere Along the Highway by them, which came out in 2006. And it inspired the hell out of me and made me write my own post-metal album. I was never a huge fan of post-metal. I thought it was awesome, but it wasn't like my preferred subgenre, other than a couple bands. But this one sealed the deal for me. Like, it's just it's like the perfect combination of doom metal and like, well, I don't even know what you would combine with it to get what this is, but it's just, yeah, for me, it's like a long listen, but it's like completely absorbing the entire time. So I'm into that.
Right.
Other than that, Without the Sky, which is, what's his name again from
Shouts out
Josh from
Rotting Sun Records.
yeah, there we go, Josh
Shouts out.
Tate.
Yeah.
I checked out his new release and it was incredible, and so I went and picked up the rest of his discography, and it's all just so fucking good. So been listening to that a lot. As far as black metal goes, I mean, yeah, other stuff is more random, but those are the ones that I've been paying attention to. What about you, Adrian?
I have not been listening to music too much.
Yeah,
I listened to the new one we're going to put out, Endless Layer.
right.
I've been jamming that a little bit, but no, nothing really. It's most of the time I'm just listening to comedy podcasts. I don't know. I just a lot of times when I'm trying to write music, especially lyrics, I try to avoid music that would inspire me too much, so I don't want to rip it off.
Yeah, derivative.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people say that.
Yeah. So right now, me and Alan are working on a project, Try Not to Die Here, and I'm trying to avoid bands that kind of have that sound. So I don't know. I haven't been listening to a whole lot of music.
Yeah.
I also listen to a lot of podcasts.
Right.
Now that I mentioned it, I think off the record, but I've been back into wrestling, and whenever I get hard on something, I want to start listening to podcasts. And I started listening to Jim Cornette's podcast, a longtime wrestler, or wrestling announcer, booker, promoter. So I feel that I probably listen to about as much Jim Cornette as I do music.
Yes.
Sometimes.
When I had my my factory job a couple years ago or last year, I had that for like 10 years, and podcasts were mostly what got me through the day, because I don't know about you guys, but if I listen to music for a 10-hour shift, I'm like sick of music by the end of that shift. Like, it doesn't matter if it's all my favorite music. I'm just sick of listening to music after that long. So podcasts are just less like fatiguing.
I get more sick of digging or looking for something that I feel like listening to, I guess, than I do like actively listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
No, that's part of it for sure. Absolutely. Just like, it'd be great if you could just have like a service that read your mind and played exactly what you wanted to play,
Spotify's trying.
Yeah, they're trying, but until they get that integration with the brain chip, it's not gonna be good enough. But
I think we said this last time, but fuck Spotify again.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, we're all on board with that. Like
3 or 4 times over.
Yeah. We're all on board with that for sure. I have 2 projects that are on Spotify currently, and I'm in like 12. The rest of them are like not on streaming at all.
Right.
The ones that are on Spotify are literally just there for discovery, but not like anything that's going to make me any money anyway. Right. And I'm probably going to eventually get everything off of there altogether, because it really sucks, like really bad.
The last stuff I have on there, I'm struggling to find my CD baby password to log in to delete it off. That's the only thing that's holding me back right now, is trying to recall the password.
And like, who knows if they'll even, like, maybe if you email them, they can take it off of one service probably. But on most of these sites, it's not easy to do it like yourself.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It seems like artists are finally starting to wake up that Spotify sucks, and people are starting to pull their music. So
yeah,
that was, to me, like, the problem with Spotify was simple. It just pull your music. Everyone just pulled their music.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it was the issues, like the major labels were in bed with Spotify and stuff. And so I think it made it difficult for those artists, and it's probably, I know most artists on Spotify don't get any streams at all. Like some of them have, like, get 0. So Oh, there's just so much music. So like we're maybe like 1% of artists on there actually get paid like a living wage. And then like
Oh
point a
yeah,
fraction of a percent of that is like making a lot of money. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's really just like the only good reason to have your music on streaming, period, is the discovery aspect. Like you play live shows, people need to be able to find the music easily. People use
right.
streaming. Therefore, streaming is the best way to convert to fans. But
Yeah,
other than that, like there's no good reason to be on it,
no.
especially ethically. So I
I've been
just,
just suggesting artists that want to go that route with streaming, like don't put your whole album. Just put one
yeah,
track, maybe. Don't put the whole thing, and then
Yeah,
just tell them to go to Bandcamp.
yeah.
That's what we like. That's what we've been doing. We put in the canvas to go to Bandcamp for the rest of the album. Like
Mhm.
forget
I think I saw
songs.
that with Gnashing Teeth or something
Yeah,
in the past.
yeah, he
yeah,
has like the explosion.
Mhm.
yeah,
Well, see, for me, with noise, it is sort of generally, whether it's due to like anti-capitalist mindsets or just niche product, whatever you want to call it, or just niche material. A lot of people don't mess with Spotify and stuff in the first place, and I think I ranted about it on the last episode we did
hmm
together. But there was a lot of like random arbitrary stuff that they would reject noise. So a lot of the times I didn't even mess with it at all, and a lot of people I know
yeah,
didn't, if it wasn't for ideological and other reasons.
hmm
But um, you know, millions of valid ethical concerns. But I have two on there because I'd wiped everything. And I was like, I'm going to go to artists on an individual basis. I think this was early last year. I was like, I'm going to ask artists on an individual basis if they want to go that route, pay a single time fee. It goes up. Obviously, that's also not even the current issues at hand as far as what I'm paying in. But I've got two albums on there now, and neither one of them are harsh noise.
hmm
And once I figure out how to get back into the CD baby, it is going off.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I know for me, like it just means so much more when somebody buys my album for $1 than for them to stream it 50 times, you know?
Yeah.
Because like you bought the album from me directly, you have it for life. Like you're gonna listen to it a couple times at least.
Hmm.
50 streams, that's awesome, but the dollar just went a lot further to actually like supporting me, and you don't own it when you stream it. So I mean that's kind of one of the main things for me. But then obviously all the ethical concerns, which for me I can sum it up. You know, $11 a month or whatever does not support any artists. Period. Like there's no way for it to. You can't divide that up into a support for artists. So that's
Yeah.
why I don't subscribe to streaming anymore, and that's why I
And it's
try
like
to buy all my
if
music.
Spotify wasn't already fucked up, now they're like putting funds and effort into supporting genocide and like
Yeah, dude.
this AI fucking police state. I'm
Yeah,
like, God damn, it's fucked up. It's bad.
yeah. I'm not a fan of any war machines out there, so not trying to support it for that reason either. Of course. Um, I don't know. I wouldn't call myself like I'm pretty damn close to a pacifist, I guess. Like honestly, I have kind of a controversial opinion. I'm not controversial, just not popular opinion, which is that I don't even believe in self-defense personally. And look, I'm not saying that if I had a wife and kids that I wouldn't believe in that, but currently as a single man, I'm like, if you want to kill me, bro, just fucking do it.
Right. Yeah.
So I just don't believe in violence for really any reason. So
Mm-hmm.
other than like retaliation against oppressors, that I can see.
Right. Yeah. I don't. I'm a lot that way in my personal perception of myself, but I get upset over other people being mistreated. I guess that's my main thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as I go, I don't do a ton of. I'm not a big fighter, but I look like one, so that helps.
yeah. You ever do any pro wrestling?
No, my interest has been periodic. There's good local promotions that I have a lot of interest in that are looking for commentary and stuff.
Okay, sick.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
I'd love to wrestle, but my legs are bad. And I work a blue collar job. I can't afford to get
Yeah.
injured.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I would love to be involved with wrestling.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I thought about getting back into jujitsu. I did that for about 12 years, but I'm afraid of getting hurt and then not being able to work. So,
Hey, it's a cruel system.
Yeah.
But I've entertained the idea of trying to help sponsor a little bit with local stuff and just be like, hey, just throw the fucking like Tennessee anti-noise or anti-music logo, just throw it on the flyer somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll be happy enough. Like, there's really killer stuff going on. It was awesome. I saw Vampiro. I saw Vampiro wrestle.
Oh,
he was in WCW. He was in WCW back in the day. He wrestled across. He came out with the Misfits back in the day. The literal like.
Yeah.
The Misfits.
Yeah.
And he had the black and white. He's a legend. It was awesome. It was crazy. There's a lot going on. Just like local, underground music and local music in people's areas. It's like, there's a million people around you doing cool shit. I didn't know that there was this great of like local wrestling promotions and stuff.
Yeah.
Imperial Wrestling in the Tri-Cities area here, Pile Driver Pro. There's a couple really killer ones.
Yeah, it's like wrestling has this huge fan base. And like there's pro wrestling matches like in my town, like a small town.
So every town, brother. Cool. Every town.
It's cool. Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, it's just like music. I mean, it's performance art. You know? It's stage performance. Sure. And it's the same sort of visceral physical stuff that like noise and power electronics and punk and metal people sort of fetishize with this like destruction and violence and stuff, but in like a not, to whatever disturbing extent a person wants. And then there's like wrestling to whatever disturbing extent a person wants, there's like deathmatch wrestling with people getting hit in the chest with weed eaters and stuff.
Yeah, dude, I've seen the videos. It's horrible. Oh my god.
That's John Moxley, and he's wrestling today. He's a champion on AEW on television today, rivaling WWE. And he was getting whipped in the chest with a weed eater for real. You see the blood like fly off of it.
It's horrific.
Like 20 years ago in CZW in backyards in Maine. Started there, and today he's on television, AEW champion.
Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah. That's pretty impressive.
Ontology is going to be on MTV in 20 years, bro.
Hey,
same with Beyond Death.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't even know if MTV is still going, is it?
Hell, I don't know. Do people watch cable still?
I have no idea.
I think MTV's just like reality shows now. I don't think it's even music.
So. Yeah. I'm not sure about that. I just watch YouTube. I'm sure you guys are, pretty similar. Like, I'm always on YouTube.
Everybody's got different expectations and sort of what they want to get out of whatever pursuit they're doing, Like, there are people that are happy to be underground, and there are people that are shooting for, the stars, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely not. I've definitely never wanted to be a rock star, I can tell you that. But I did have all the daydreams as a kid growing up of just being able to play music in front of my crush and stuff like that.
Well, I mean,
just like have one person that matters to you care about your art. That's kind of what I've always wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a question I wanted to ask earlier, I guess, is sort of how, whenever we were talking about listeners and how we perceive stuff like that. Like you said, $1, and this was worth more than streams on streaming services, not only monetarily, but like I wanted to ask how you see things like that, of like fans and numbers and things like this, how you perceive it.
Well, I mean, for me, I make all the music the way I want to hear, just the kind of thing I want to hear. I just make it to please myself. So it's a miracle if anybody actually likes it in the first place. So the fact that, like, for example, my black metal project has like 350 Bandcamp followers, to me that is like success as much as you could possibly want.
That's pretty
that's
killer
like
numbers to me.
It's exceeded my expectations by far. So I mean, I have no aspirations to get bigger than that or anything. But like I said, I mean, the fact that I have, I'd say maybe probably like 10 people that care if I keep making music or not, like that's success to me. So, it's mostly just showing my friends. Still to this day, I just get happy to show my friends what I'm working on and see what they're working on. And that's the thing that keeps me going more than like numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What about you, Adrian?
Yeah, the fan thing still kind of trips me up, like it's crazy because like, yeah, I just never kind of seen myself as somebody that would have like fans. So it is pretty wild. And then like some of the messages I get have been like real like touching, like someone talked about how they were like writing a book and they were listening to one of my tracks on repeat during the whole thing. And, just like all the messages I've got have been pretty like, I don't know. I never would have thought like my black metal project would have like inspired people to do stuff, or I don't know. It's been a pretty cool experience, like getting to like see people enjoy the stuff I created that I didn't even never really expected to gain any traction. I mean, and then it eventually led to the label and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
When I found your project, dude, I See Satan, I'm talking about specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Or as the AI YouTube overview called it was Icy, like ICY Satan.
Yeah.
Too cold.
But when I found it, it was because of, we've said this before, but it's because of Jeremy from Dead Languages recommending it. And this was like really early on for you still.
Yeah.
But you were just releasing like a ton of tracks and they were all so killer. So, I mean, yeah, dude, the fact that you like started and went from 0 to 100 as quickly as you did and it was so good is like really impressive to me still to this day. I definitely understand why people connected with that music and also everything else you've been involved with, for sure, man.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, no, yeah, I kind of just went crazy for a little bit, just compulsively writing.
Strike when the iron's hot.
Yeah.
Strike when the iron's hot.
Absolutely.
I See Satan. That was my first. I think my first project, either that or Gnashing Teeth, that I found from Hauntology. Both of which I was like, oh my god. And I've got like old like stickers and stuff all over the actual tape player that I used to record BDR tapes. Because like I came in contact with you guys like early on in my doing tapes. And even right here beside of me, there's Hauntology and I See Satan stickers.
Awesome. Sick.
Hell yeah, dude. Much appreciated.
I got at least 2 of the tapes back there too.
Yeah, I mean, tapes are still what it's really all about. We would love to do more vinyl, but people aren't really buying physical media right now, and it's quite a big investment.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's I could imagine. I was thinking earlier. I was surprised at the reception that I've gotten with all the stuff that I've done with Beyond Death so far, and I do really appreciate that, and I think I do a lot more. Thank y'all so much. Love y'all. Be good to each other. All this stuff that I like put at the end of these posts that like I don't see that from other noise labels because a lot of it's like this sort of tough guy, whatever. But I like the idea of like a family label and like I've encouraging other people to make things and be involved and Yeah, I was shocked that people were interested, but I guess as far as fans go, I'm on both sides. Like Alan said, I'm definitely not doing it for any of that, and mainly I'm just making things that I want to listen to, you know.
Yeah.
But on the other end, whenever I do find people that actually do like it and show a level of interest, I'm like, we can be friends if you want to, you know, like, oh, you like my tape? Thanks.
Yeah.
My name's Alex. What's your name? You know, like, you know, and
For sure.
to an extent, that's what it's about. And like Alan was saying, the showing your friends and stuff, there's such a community aspect of, I guess, the underground and DIY sort of things, and even the internet culture around it that thrives on people who are excited to show their friends things and work on stuff with their friends, and things grow out of that.
Yeah. Probably the coolest thing about making music for a few years now, like seriously, is that I've been able to see my friends grow so much, and I've been able to like do so many different projects where I like collaborate with them. And it's just, it just makes me proud to have music out that I worked on with my friends and stuff like that. So that's one of the most rewarding aspects of it. Like, we're talking about how Adrian and I have a band now, and like we've been plotting and scheming about something like that for a really long time now. We've done a couple one-off songs before, but it's super cool to finally have something work out that like shows our talents really well together. And so stuff like that just makes me really proud. And if anybody cares about this like shitty green screen music video we're gonna make for it, then cool, awesome.
Yeah.
But if not, then it's still really fun to do.
Yeah. And I guess that's the pipeline for me, is just doing it. And then, if somebody pops out and says, hey, I like it, I'm like, hey, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. What do you do? Do you have, do you want to be on a show?
Yeah, totally.
You never know. Or like introducing people to stuff like that in the first place. Whenever I started, I had no idea how to go about making noise. As funny as that sounds, I guess, to probably a lot of people. I had no idea how to go about doing anything. And, I had a lot of local friends that I'd come to see at shows and stuff. And I'm like, hey, I'm interested in this. What can I do? How can I go about it? And they're like, hey, here's this, borrow this, explaining things to each other.
Yeah. Teaching and like mentoring is a big part of like the community of it, for sure.
Well, that's how things continue to grow and flourish. And at the same time, I think you can build upon things instead of, I don't know, a lot of people just shooting off in different directions and having a rougher time of it on their own than they have to, I guess,
Yeah.
Without community and stuff like that.
I will say that what I've experienced of the noise community, in the different places that I talk about the stuff that I do in that regard, has been awesome. I mean, people have been super cool, and I was expecting the exact opposite.
Mm-hmm.
I've had one person out of like the 20 that I've talked to about noise music. I've had one person that was like super like hardline, like it has to be this way and it has to be this and that, or like I'm like, okay, bye, and I just ghosted them because that was ridiculous. But everybody else has been so cool, just welcoming and like encouraging about it. And like I don't have anybody really to mentor me, so I'm just experimenting. But I guess that's kind of like one of the like tenets of noise music is experimentation, right? So
yeah.
But that said, even though what I'm making sucks, people have been really kind about it, so it's been awesome. Like definitely a nicer community experience than like in what I've had in metal so far. So
right.
Adrian, we got to get you making some noise sometime.
What's on your mind, Taylor?
It's just I don't know, like it doesn't come out quite right for me. I don't know.
You've had your vision for it before. You've told me about recording some like field recordings at work and stuff.
Yeah, I do have a project that is not named right now, but I don't know. Like I've considered trying to do something. It kind of, I guess it would be more along the lines of like Gnaw Their Tongues or something like that.
Awesome.
So I really like the more harsh stuff and just
Mhm.
like um, I don't know. Maybe someday, but
Yeah. You're a
yeah.
busy dude, so
Yeah, you're killing it as it is. Hey,
Thanks. Yeah.
this dude, for anybody that like thinks that I do most of the stuff because I like record and edit the podcast, like no, Adrian does all the hard work here. Like he is the machine of this record label. All the orders, he's making the tapes, he's packing everything up, shipping it out to you guys. He puts the time and care into responding to everybody about everything. Like, nah, it's mostly Adrian. I'm mostly here to just do like the podcast and like contribute music,
Hey, that's awesome. Y'all are killing it.
Dude, we
I
appreciate
guess
it.
a lot. I was sitting here thinking a lot of noise is based on perspective, but it was to our conversation earlier as far as like what people are happy with and what they're shooting for. Um, it's also subjective, and like from my perspective, I endlessly respect you guys and the thing, Adrian, the stuff that you've done, both of you musically as far as the label goes, and like the seeing growth in the label and in the art at the same time, in just the time that I've known you, which I guess like kind of probably 2 years or so, 2 or 3,
Yeah.
going on 3
Yeah.
years we've been interacting. But yeah, it's like I look up to Hauntology 100%.
Man, that's flattering, dude.
Yeah.
I just I had some people come in that we had a show together, and Collapsing and Francis Thornton out of Virginia. There's some really good friends of mine, more on the experimental side, and we were kind of exchanging tapes and zines and stuff like this that we had on us. And I think I want to say I passed on a CD of Repent,
Nice.
and I passed on something else. But yeah, I was like, go check out Hauntology. Love them, killing it.
Yeah, we really appreciate that, man.
And like with noise too, it's a matter of perspective like that too, because it's like to your normal person, somebody would look at it and be like, this is just a bunch of racket, just like a bunch of, it's a Southern expression, I guess, but like,
Yeah.
like, this is just, there's no value to it. And I think for a lot of people, especially at the beginning, when you're dealing with something that's niche and I think personal as it is in a way, it's very easy to even be critical of yourself when it comes to noise or the way you want things like that to sound. And I think for a lot of people, as far as what they like and what they do with noise, it sort of comes down to what they allow themselves to do, or what they had a better statement in mind for it. What you envision, I guess, for yourself at the end of it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I see noise as very personal in a way.
Yeah.
And
I can see that, because
everybody comes to an end point with noise where they're like, all right, I like this enough that I want to show other people.
Yeah. It's almost like a universal truth about art in a way, but at the same time, like I get what you're saying about noise being personal, because you're kind of like staring into the abyss of the human condition with like that type of music. And so everybody's got a monster inside them somewhere, right? And it's like, how much of that do you want to let out into this music is kind of how I see it.
Right. Well, and it's also like even just I was telling Francis and Paul the other day, whenever they were staying, that it's like the conceivable universe of music, and then like everywhere outside of the rest of the genres and these things is just noise. like the blackness of the universe in a way, so to speak, like outside of what we have names for. That's all noise, like the final frontier, I guess, of like we don't have a name for it. It's just noise, or people
Yeah.
call it noise, and that's a really nebulous thing to sort of be comfortable enough, I guess, for people that, especially that have other musical stuff. Like for me, I came from like banjo and like acoustic guitar and stuff. So for me to sit down and just start like that was like hard for me to accept at first, and to be like, yeah, I like this enough. I'm going to get up in front of people and feedback this mic. After
Yeah.
I just played like a banjo show with a band last week. You know what I mean? Like it took me a while to get from A to B on like, but whatever that B is dependent on how comfortable you are with yourself and what you choose to show, you know, I guess that, vulnerability, like we were talking about, even in something so aggressive, there's a lot of, personality and, vulnerability to a lot of it.
Yeah, dude. That's basically what it's all about. I mean, art doesn't have to be super meaningful, but you know, I definitely appreciate the connection aspect of like, you know, when I'm able to take something away from like the lyrics or the music itself, that relates to me, even if it's not what the artist intended, that makes me want to that makes me almost way more likely to be a fan of the music than just consume it in passing kind of thing. So, and everybody's different, so not everything's going to connect with everybody regardless. But um, shifting gears just a little bit here, because I did have one particular thing that I wanted to talk to you about. It's just something that's been on my mind, and you run a label, so I'm curious what you think about it. You may not have an experience with this at all, and if so, then you've been very fortunate. But I just wanted to see what you think about difficulties working with artists or musicians, you know, in general, like any personality difficulties or any communication difficulties that you might have experienced.
That's funny, because I was about to ask if you wanted to sort of shift and talk shop a little bit. I honestly, I've been fortunate that I've really not had a lot as far as negative interactions on the like misunderstanding side. I didn't have one that came. I didn't have one that popped into mind immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think. I mean, there's one artist and I'm not gonna like delve into like the whole thing, but like I'm pretty sure they're using AI art,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd worked with them in the past, and yeah, at that point, I don't think I'd work with them again. And I've seen them express some kind of I don't know, unsavory opinions towards art, if that
Gotcha.
makes sense, as a whole, like sort of opinions expressed, but then they were turning around and using AI art for band artwork,
Yeah.
I think. And I was like, I'm not going to work with that person again.
Well, let me play devil's advocate for just 1 second here, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
And it's a simple point, but it's that the artists, you know, visual artists, it's such a nebulous thing. Sometimes you ask for something and then they do the commission and it's like totally not what you expected, and sometimes it's like it'd be really hard to steer the ship home. I've had that experience myself a few times. And then you just type it into an AI and it just does what you tell it to do, you know. Now, I'm not saying that makes it okay to do that at all.
Right.
I don't believe in it. I don't use it when I can avoid it, but which is, you know, pretty much always. There's only been like 2 cases where I've used AI art in the past, and I don't think I would going forward at all. But you know, it's just something like that. Like working with a human is always going to involve like communication and the sloppiness of the, you know, the human ego experience or whatever you want to call it. And that's just one aspect, you know. There's the aspect of this is another bad point, I would say, but I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here, which is, you know, just that you have to pay for art and you might be a broke musician. And so, like, if it's the reason why you can get your art out and you're broke, then, you know, kind of thing.
Right.
I guess the counterpoint to that would be like somebody is willing to help you out somewhere. You just got to ask.
Right. Well, I mean, for one, you never have to use it. A person never, I guess, need has a situation where you need to use something like that. But I mean, honestly, for me, the first issue with stuff like that is the ecological concerns that come along with like generative AI situations. And like even in Memphis and stuff right now, we're seeing situations where communities are being impacted, where they're building these facilities that are housing these like whatever the fuck comes up with this shit. But it's making people's bills and homes become unaffordable. But besides all of that, as far as like the artistic approach goes, you know, I mean, look at the past. There were so many killer album covers that were just like a black and white photo and some sort of typeface, you know, and it's like those were people that were working with nothing relatively, or didn't have people in their area that were able to fucking, you know, do whatever they wanted. Or you see like killer 80s albums with this like airbrushed, spray painted, whatever, like sort of to today's eyes, it might look silly, but it's like there's a human element to it, though. And I don't think that the human element should necessarily be displaced for just being inconvenient. But even beyond paying a person, which I, you know, a lot of the art from Beyond Death, I've made myself in one way or another, whether it's been like photo manipulation or, you know, I think I can't exactly recall. I should probably pull a copy of it and look at it. Let me make sure I don't misquote myself on this last one. But I'm pretty sure. Yeah, like, I mean, you probably can't see it super killer, but it's like Dora took that photo of herself and like did this artwork of herself. I did the layout, but I mean, she took this image of herself just in a room and edited it, you know, by whatever means she has.
Yeah.
And I mean,
you got to be really lazy to use AI in this day and time. There's so many options, whether you go on Pexels and get a free photograph and manipulate it.
Well, to me too, I think it's kind of like I didn't use this term when I was thinking about the, you know, us as people making noise, but in a way it's sort of what you decide to settle on for yourself or what you decide to be like, okay, this is enough.
Yeah.
You know, and whether that's feedback or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I am out here just making feedback and rolling on the floor and stuff. But it's like, it's personal to me. And at the same time, you know, the photos and the artwork that I make, even though I'm sitting here and making it on my phone, you know, with pictures that I've taken that I've sat here and like, you know, fiddled with and stuff. It's like there are other options. It just sort of depends on what we decide to put into it or where we decide to say, all right, that's, you know, good enough for what it is.
I mean, let me be clear. I'm not in favor of using AI, quote unquote, art for any reason. We just did a whole episode with my friend Gabe about AI and in music tools, like in software, like in the DAW and whatnot, AI and mastering music, all that kind of stuff. And it really sucks that it's taking away all these jobs and stuff. You know, I mean, I'm not in favor. I just wanted to like kind of just be a little bit like.
Also had the conversation with Francis and Paul that like some of these things, like these audio tools, are a little bit different. For me, my big issue is like the generative AI, like the visual generative text-based stuff. That's the big issue, and that's what's causing so much of these main issues that I'm seeing with it, besides the sort of like human agency and ethical whatever.
Yeah.
So
And so that's sort of, for me, that's a big thing. But like I used one, and like, there's AI in video games. AI is artificial intelligence. I mean, you can sit
right.
and program a video game that a character acts a certain way or something. It's like that's artificial intelligence. But the generative AI and the video sort of stuff, the video altering, I guess, deep fake sort of things like that. That's sort of the real, not only weird psychosocial issue, but also like the shit that's causing these plants that are like destroying the country and world and stuff.
I don't know how I don't really know how sustainable like AI really is, because it seems like it's just using up so much resources. I don't know if it's really even able to like generate enough income to support itself.
Right.
It seems very strange to me. Um, but I had a question like, do you consider AI art actually art, or would you, like,
Well, I
as
mean, I can't sit here and pretend like uh, minimal input into a machine isn't art, when at the same time, there's a lot of art that I enjoy that is minimal input, I guess. I don't know how to put it. Like, I mean, Chris Burden put up a sheet of glass with a clock on the wall and a hammer laying beside of him, and he laid in the corner of the room underneath the glass until somebody interacted with him. He laid there for like days. And then when somebody interacted with him, he got up and he smashed the clock and smashed the glass and just like ran out.
yeah,
And it's like,
okay,
that's relatively minimal input, It's like, is that art? A lot of people would say no. But at the same time, a lot of people that would say performance art and other sort of stuff like that is not art would look at AI and be like, isn't this the most beautiful thing you've ever seen?
mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't know. I want to like make some sort of snarky t-shirts that say like, I heart the demiurge or something like that on it.
Mm.
For like for like AI people or something.
Yeah, I hear people criticize AI art as either like anti art or bad art. It can't really be both, So I just kind of trying to understand people's perspective on it.
I mean, it can be.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, actually, funny enough, I hate to keep saying this, but I told Paul the other day in the conversation we had, I said, if people lack the initiative to put effort into a medium, then they probably lack the imagination or the taste to actually make something worthwhile. And it's like, I've seen people that have made, art that I like on like trained model, like more closed cell, like individual programming sort of things that I've liked. But like this sort of mass produced swirly lines and like hands and fingers messed up. All this sort of stuff is just like dystopian and like eldritch to me in a strange way. And I think it's I don't know, some sort of weird technological threat to human agency in some way.
Yeah, I think the largest pushback against AI art is just like people want the human connection in art, and they don't want it coming from a computer. Like a lot of people, they say like it's taking jobs and like it's artists aren't making money when people use it, but like we use public domain pictures, we take photographs. We're not paying artists for all the free stuff we use, but like no one complains about that. I think it I think it ultimately comes down to it has to have this human element that AI art doesn't really have, and that's what really is bothering people with it. You know.
Yeah. I mean, look, as long as what the artist envisions and executes on had some consideration put into it and wasn't just like, whatever, I don't care about this, then, I can try and care about it. And if there was a little bit of AI involved in it, whether it was in the DAW and certain plugins, or, they used it to like enhance one part of their cover art or whatever, I honestly don't care personally. If it still had the consideration put into it, like, this is what I want to make and this is the best way I know how to make it, and you try your best and like put days into it, then that's, to me, that's all that counts to me.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, I mean, like with the, there's a friend of mine, I only know his Instagram handle, and I hate to do it, but I'm about to have to pull up the man's Instagram handle. But I don't fully understand all the technology to it, but it appears to be digital media and trained image / language models. River Goblin, River _ Goblin.
Okay.
Love their art, but the thing is, this person does like a lot of other things, that people might not say is art, like these sort of textural paintings that aren't like images or depictions of something, but it's textural, like, a canvas, but layered, depth to it, textured. And I fell in love with that first, and then I've seen these like trained model image things work that they're doing.
Almost like mixed media, where AI is one of the things that they use.
Yeah. And like I used of course everything says AI now, whether it's necessarily what it means or not, but like I used a program that split tracks, like split stems, or attempted to, using stuff like that. And it's like, to me, that's sort of one thing. But I mean, again, like I said, the generative stuff, the text-based, generative, image-based, that sort of thing is the main scourge in my mind. I'm definitely not like an anti-technology person, but this stuff has overarching first environmental and ethical concerns, and then I guess physical, and then there's like psychological, etc. concerns with it, and it's just not worth the overall cost is not worth the product at all. And that's not going to stop anybody, and I don't expect it to. I expect theoretically that the thing will implode before it gets super far.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm hoping so.
I know it costs so much money for them to like do this. Like, I think one of the main guys said like every time you thank it and it responds, it costs like millions of dollars or something. Like,
that too, and it's like people are sort of investing personal information. There's like security concerns. There's
yeah. No, that's my main concern with this like Chat GPT thing is like security, and then also it telling people like how to like make things, if I mean, like that's my biggest concern with AI. It's very scary. So I mean, it's a very scary world we're living in right now.
It's insane. I hope it all just implodes. There's just a big.
It would be better for everybody if this had never been invented. I'll say that.
Yeah, it's well, the funny thing is people imagine it as like AI is like the Terminators taking over like humanity and stomping them out, but it's like, no, in reality it's just going to accelerate like global warming and like making land uninhabitable and shit, to the point that does it first. And it's like, I guess that would be ironic, wouldn't it, if we imagined this big grand sci-fi thing and then it was just like the fact that people making stupid images and telling their deepest, darkest secrets to theoretically a thing that is not sentient is just making the environment burn.
Yeah,
it's pretty bleak. So let's reshift here.
Absolutely,
if we got time. what's I think we talked about it a little bit. What's going on with Hauntology? What's upcoming? Got anything you want to plug?
We got Endless Lear coming out August 29th for sure. That we got tapes, we got CDs for that one. We have a big split coming up, which I don't think we can say anything yet. Can we, Alan?
No, not yet. Not at least who's on it yet. But
Yeah.
Ooh,
That one's gonna be good. That one's gonna be really fucking good.
awesome.
And we got Try Not to Die Here. Hopefully we can get that something out soon for that one.
yeah.
Which I don't want to say his name wrong, so I guess I won't say it, but we do have another. It's like it's kind of like a doomish. I don't know. I can't. I don't know how to explain it, and I don't know how to say the band name, so I'm not going to.
I've been there. I have been there real hard.
Yeah,
real.
I've been really failing lately with the pronouncing names and bands and everything, like just miserably. And remembering people's names, like I forgot the names of the guys from Mind Prisoner on our interview with them the other day. Like, oh man, I've been messing up, but there's always room for improvement with these things. So
yeah.
I know a lot of Allens and Aarons and Adrians and stuff like that. So I struggle to keep the names right, and recording, pronouncing noise projects and stuff like that gets
for sure.
Well, actually, this might make you feel a little bit vindicated or whatever, but the way I remember your name, Alex, is because of your solo project, Alexander Yates. That's what I associate you with. So
good.
That's how I remember you.
Awesome. Yeah, that's me.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, Adrian, I cut you off. What were you?
No, you're good. You're good. Yep. But a lot of good stuff coming from Hauntology, and we're always excited for Beyond Death recordings.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've got an upcoming split. I originally wanted to have it out by now, and due to a couple of reasons, I delayed it. But there's a project, long time in my mind, one of the American noise legends, Clang Quartet.
I'm not familiar.
Underground of underground, I would say. He was a Christian-based noise project.
Okay.
Scotty is a Christian, to the best of my knowledge, and that definitely set him apart in the world of early thousands, like noise.
Yeah.
Which a lot of his was experimental. Like he'd make his own setups and stuff, and like not a lot of like knob twisting or anything, you know.
Right.
And he plays drums and stuff like that. But he really inspired me. If anybody's listening to this and that sounds halfway interesting, funny enough, actually one night, this is perhaps, I've told Scotty this, but one night it was in a time, it was during COVID. I was doing pretty bad at the time. This was like 2021 maybe. And I got on YouTube and I was like, I wonder if there's Christian noise. Wouldn't that be funny? Wouldn't that be like funny if it's Christian noise?
Yeah.
Which I wasn't like hating on it necessarily, but I was like, isn't that sort of like antithetical?
Mm-hmm.
And I Googled it. I Googled Christian noise. And up came a documentary called The Armor of God, I want to say it's called. And it's Clang Quartet, Scotty Irving. And I watched that and I was like, wow. Like, which, you know, of course, I come from Appalachia, Southern Baptist, you know, heavy Christian imagery. The entire like front room of my house is all like antique Christian, Southern wooden Jesus stuff, you know. Love the imagery. But I saw somebody getting up and using that and doing that. And I was like, I didn't know it was possible, you know. I didn't know that was a thing that people did or could be done.
Yeah.
And long story short, I already made it long enough. I was inspired to start Evangelist because of Scotty. And I would definitely not call myself a Christian, but it's definitely a lot more Christian noise than I think a lot of people are prepared for. And it's still weird to a lot of people. But, that's personal to me. That's my, Appalachian, So I have a split coming up, Evangelist and Clang Quartet.
Hell yeah,
that's
dude.
awesome,
I
dude.
finally brought it full circle. I reached out to him. He's recording a lot, not touring a lot. He's having some health issues and, getting older. And but we recorded a split. So later on this year, I wanted to have it out by now. We were supposed to be on a festival together coming up. But so I'll have a Clang Quartet Evangelist split, which is a big deal for me. That's like a full circle thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'll
Super
have
sick.
the first Cave Depression full length.
Now that's one that you mixed, right?
Yes. It was recorded
Nice.
in this room. It was recorded in here.
Hell yeah.
Actually, he was standing almost where I'm sitting right now in those videos that you watch. But yeah, he's the most intense. One of the biggest, honestly, probably one of the biggest reasons why I started the label as far as a single person goes. Because I saw him and he was just insane, just like screaming and like beating himself, feedback, just harsh, like classic Prurient style. And like he was inspired by Prurient and Waves Crashing piano chords, who are two of the probably greatest real raw power electronic feedback style that there's ever been.
I'm only familiar with Prurient. I'm not familiar with the other one.
Oh man, buckle up. He's a hoot. Shouts out to Sean Beard. But yeah, Cave Depression, first full length he's ever had. He's hard to record because he screams like, if anybody's listening, if you enjoy the body or that sort of like high pitched, raw, shrieking kind of vocals, if Tyler listens to this and listens this far, he might not like that I said that, but to your potentially metal fan base, that's like a close thing they could point to. But it's just real raw, shrieking, just pure emotion, pure energy, and that's hard to capture because he's like swinging around, and like that comes out in live performances when you see it, but it's hard to capture in a recording setting. Like, how do you?
Yeah.
So I pretty much field recorded him. I had a field recorder pretty much set up over here, and then he was ran into stuff over here, and I was out there because his mic has his amp has one setting, and it is all the way up. And that's not a joke. It's broke. It's broken. That's all it's got. So, but recorded here, mixed by me. We're about to finish the artwork. Cave Depression, Tyler, he's half of Kudzu Wreath.
Nice. Okay.
The harsher side of Kudzu Wreath. And he's currently hiking the Appalachian Trail. He's probably like 2,000 miles into hiking on a trip right now. It's insane.
Sick.
Incredible.
Love him. Shout out. But yeah, his first full length after he's been a project for probably 6 or 8 years is coming out. And it sounds the best he ever has.
That's awesome, man. You've got some cool shit.
Super excited. He's a legend. I mean, and he's, as far as the way Evangelist is now in my live performances, it's from watching him. So that's another like full circle to be able to release that full length.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I've got
2025, the year of making dreams happen.
I got a couple big ones. I got a bunch of shows coming up. One of them's next week in Pomeroy, Ohio, Voice of the Valley Festival. It was historically, Aaron Dillaway and a lot of big U.S. noise legend people played there over time. And so I'll be heading there next week. We got Women of Noise Fest just got announced for the second year. That's in Chattanooga, Tennessee. A lot of our friends and family will be on there. Pippi Maraschino, Maggie, me and Maggie will be traveling from here. Maggie Leeds will be traveling from there for her performance, so I'll be there. If anybody's around Chattanooga, Tennessee, I believe it's at the beginning of September. You can find Women of Noise on Instagram. Chattanooga
Dude,
Noise
crushing
Night,
it, man.
all that.
Yeah,
Exciting shit.
dude, I gotta make a trip out there maybe next year. I don't have a vacation this year, but
Hey, no matter what project you want to come with, let me know and let me plan to get y'all at Chattanooga Noise Night. It's in West Tennessee, sort of, well, middle, southwest, I don't know, but over more towards your direction than I am. It's,
all right,
it's
cool.
5 hours across the state from me, so it's definitely closer to you, probably.
Okay, cool.
But
Yeah.
it's amazing. They regularly have, 50, 60, 40, 50, 60 people at a noise show.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Comfortable setting, noise gallery or art gallery, blankets on the floor, people sitting down, relaxing,
Nice.
harsh noise from all over the world. It's crazy. But yeah, that's Women of Noise Fest coming up, and we got a bunch of shows and releases. I'm trying to get back to having more of a regular schedule with tape releases and stuff like that than I have.
Well, dude, it's been awesome to have you back on here again. We always appreciate your time, and we love what you're doing. So we'll try to spread the word with this podcast and with maybe some collaborations in the future. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime. Thank you
Hell
guys
yeah,
for
dude.
having me on again. Always nice to talk.
It definitely is. All right. Well, thanks everybody for checking out another episode of the podcast. Episode 13. Maybe that's an unlucky number to some people, but not to us. We got this thing in the bag. We're going to keep on rolling. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Dissonant Echoes, and my apologies again for the extended delay between episodes. I'm going to end the episode by playing two artists from Beyond Death recordings. First up is Kudzu Wreath with Pulsing Anxiety, which is pretty much how I've felt lately. And then after that, we'll hear Coffin Nail with the song Lost in a Frozen Abyss. And just a little disclaimer here, there's going to be some harsh noise ahead. Enjoy.